gang, it's Maria here from HockeyTrainingPro.com and GoalieTrainingPro.com. And a couple weeks ago I ran a free clinic for hockey coaches in my hometown of London, Ontario, and went over sort of the 8 simple secrets for improving speed on the ice. And so I just wanted to do a quick summary video that I can send out to those coaches, and I thought I'd share it with you as well, because I know that lots of you live far, far away from London, Ontario, so you couldn't make it in for the session. So we're going to start with mobility. So number one, simple speed secret for hockey players is improving hip extension. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to improve hip extension. One is your typical hip flexor stretch, but bringing your heel to your butt. And I'm not going to rehash the whole why and the whole workshop that we did. I'm just going to kind of go through the exercises to show you the how. Then the next one is elevated hip flexor stretch. So with your foot up on a step, staying tall, tall, tall in your torso, feeling a stretch here. Finally, some myofascial release, and I like to use the lacrosse ball. And I get that just on the muscular bundle right below my hip bone. It's a little on the outside, not on the inside here toward your groin, but a little bit on the outside. Rolling on that, and you can go side to side on it to find some trigger points, and then along the length. The second speed secret is being ready from the second the puck drops. You can't take the first 5-10 minutes of the first period to get ready to roll. So a good off-ice dynamic warm-up is key. So a few of the dynamic exercises, or the dynamic warm-up exercises we went over were quad stretch with a reach, our little walking hamstring stretch, hip flexor with a reach away, hip flexor with a reach away, and they can be done on the spot or traveling. We did some nice side steps, down, back, and steps. So the idea there was to get the hips nice and low, but to keep the chest up, getting a stretch in the groins. We did a little high kick to a reach, so hamstrings, 2 different kinds of dynamic hamstring stretches. Mark Verstegen's best stretch ever. So here, nice and long in the torso, straight back knee, hamstring into the hip, and then stepping through. And you spend about 15 seconds on each dynamic movement. From there, we talked about dynamic stability. So this is the 3rd simple speed secret for hockey players, having that dynamic stability. And these are things you can do with partners with no equipment whatsoever. So the first would just be from an athletic ready position. Have the athlete hold their hands straight out in front of them. The closer they get in, the easier it'll be. So hands straight out, good athletic position. So knees bent, hips sitting back slightly, tall torso. And then their partner is just going to deliver taps to their hands. So that'll move the athlete, and they're trying to really keep their hands centered. They're trying not to be moved at all. They inevitably will be moved, and then they'll center themselves back. And they're really going to feel that they're using their torso or their core to help stabilize there. I like it because it's ground-based. So in addition to using the abdominals, you're also integrating the hips, the knees, the ankles, the upper body, the same way you do on the ice. Much, much better than lying your kids down and having them all do crunches, and it's a lot more fun. It's more functional for them. You can also do that just with the hockey stick. You'll need a little bit more space in the locker room or in the arena if you're going to do this one, so be careful because you don't want somebody to accidentally get hit, but it's the exact same idea. They're going to hold that hockey stick. Try not to let their partner move it. Their partner's delivering taps. Just make sure the partner, isn't a jerk about it. You're not going to just slap them silly and have it so that they're never stable. Deliver some pushes, some perturbations, and then give them a chance to recenter. Once they're good from a neutral stance, then you can go to the staggered stance, so 1 knee forward, 1 foot back, both knees bent. And the thing that's cool about that is you'll probably find athletes have a really big difference. They might be good with their right foot forward, but then when it's time to put their left foot forward, they really have trouble stabilizing and maintaining their balance dynamically. One more addition you can make, so instead of always having that torso in a nice neutral position, change the position. So here I'm square. Well, I can do some where I'm a little bit rotated one side or the other and have to stabilize from that asymmetric position. So now that we have flexibility, we have stability, then we need strength. It is the most changeable element of the power equation, how much force we can produce. The single leg squat, and I usually have athletes squat to a bench because otherwise they're going to do little mini squats that don't really help them out. Squat to tap requires strength and stability through that hip, knee, and ankle joint. Key things you look for: make sure they're reaching back with their bum. Make sure their chest is staying tall. Some kids will really round over and then just kind of get up by shifting their weight forward. And make sure that knee stays pointing straight ahead. You'll see a lot of your athletes let that knee fall in, or even their two knees will touch. Cheater move alert. They're going to want to touch their 2 feet together coming out of the bottom, and that's a cheater, and cheaters never prosper. In order to remain fast on the ice throughout the entire game, your athletes need to be able to find that explosive power even when they're fatigued. And some of that is mental, I'm not saying that they're mental cases, I'm saying that, you know, they feel tired, they feel the burning, and they kind of expect that they can't produce that power. So this is a drill that will help kind of show them that it's still there, show them that, hey, I can still be explosive even when I have that burning fatigue feeling in my legs. It's not going to be the same as, you know, that first shift they jump over the boards and away they go, but it's just a good exercise to help teach them to apply power when they're fatigued, basically. Don't do this like the week before Christmas, because you probably end up getting a pretty crappy Christmas present from your players, so they're going to be sour with you. But, so we do sort of an isometric. We can do whatever. We can do squat jumps, we can do split squat jumps, or we can just do squats and split squats. So I'll just show you with split squats. But if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice split squats, and then we hold this position for 5 seconds, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold for 5 seconds. Again, we do that 5 times. They're gonna feel the burn, baby. Then you can have them do a core stabilization exercise and then come back and do the other side. Same thing you can do with jumps, you know, and then hold a squat. Another thing, you can add in that dynamic stabilization too. So when they're doing their static hold, have them in this position and then get their partner delivering those taps. So they actually have to stabilize and work harder doing the isometric hold. So moving on to number 7. Number 6 was plyometric and the isometric hold. Number 7, we're moving into the realm of power. So skate bounding is a bread and butter exercise for building power for skating. But a lot of athletes don't have, again, that dynamic stability to really stick their landing in a balanced position and then drive from a position of strength and power. If I'm off balance, I can't really drive with much strength and power. So the first thing we want to do is teach our athletes to find that instantaneous point of balance, that instantaneous power position with the knee nice and bent and the chest up. Because you also get a lot of athletes who are here and they think they're low in their leg because, you know, their head is closer to the ground, but their leg actually isn't loaded at all. It's all just coming from a forward bend. So start with those hops, single hop and stick, getting good distance. Then you can go to a 2 count. And then once they're proficient at that, you'll go to a skate bound, trying to get as far and as high as you can on every single stride. Hey, and don't worry, I didn't forget about acceleration. That's number 8. So this is a little half kneeling acceleration drill that we use. And the idea is to try and teach the players to drive off that trail leg. So picture that I'm skating down the ice, I have to stop and I want to go back this way. A lot of players just make this a step and then they drive from there, but we want to work on coming in, doing our stop, making power come from this side, and then we get really 2 productive strides, where before we only had 1. So if I'm going to my right, I'm going to start with my right knee up. I'm actually going to lean a little bit the direction I'm going. It's almost a falling start, and then pushing through as I go. So I'm not just turning as I come out and heading this way. I'm actually pushing straight through and then coming around on my next stride. So I'll show you one more time.